Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be build update number 1 on my Axial Yeti XL kit version. Now, I've been building away at this thing, and I've really got to say that Axial did a great job of not only the instructions on this, but also the bag organization. I found that a lot of bags that you open, you end up using all the parts, which is pretty nice, even on the plastic end of things. So great job there, Axial. The second thing is just a couple of disclaimers here. Hopefully you guys checked out my unboxing video and enjoyed it. There was a little bit of information on it, but I also have a full build thread over at rccrawler.com, and I'm going to go ahead and post that down in the video description so you can take a look at it. Now, there's lots of different comparisons between the regular Yeti, the 1/10 scale, and also the 8 scale you see in front of you. So take a look at that. There's going to be lots of individual shots of the bags and the parts and everything that's included with this Axial XL kit. So one last disclaimer, I do not own the RTR version, so this is a new territory for me, but definitely not new for the Axial Yeti. So a lot of things are somewhat familiar, but there are definitely some differences. So throughout this video, I'm going to show you just how the build has went, some instruction things, and also things I've noticed between this and, of course, the 1/10 scale. So as you see here, I've completed up to bag E, just starting bag E, which is starting the rear cage mount. Got to say the instructions are top notch. They've done a great job of the instructions. Everything's been marked correctly, and I'm actually up to the staple right there, so about halfway through the build or so. So starting the rear cage, the rear sway bar that's included, which is pretty nice, and some of the other parts. So you're going to see the rear axle laying here. I'm going to go ahead and grab this thing, and this thing is just massive. I can't tell you in studio terms here how large this thing is. You can see the nice 8 scale anodized aluminum hexes right there, true 8 scale. So there's no more of that RTR screw that went on the outside. I believe it was like an 8mm screw or such. But these are true 1/8 scale. You have the adapter that goes on the onto here, and then the wheel sandwiches between. So very nice. I mean, just a huge axle. Now, one thing that I'm very actually surprised on and very happy with is the rear drive shaft of this XL. It seems to be one of the best drive shafts I've ever seen from Axial. So I have very good and high hopes for this. You can see just how thick the splines are on this and the walls of everything. So I can't wait to really test this out with a very decent 8 scale system. So all in all, this thing has went together great. I mean, this thing is just burly, to say the least. I'm gonna go ahead and set that off to the side. Now you're gonna see the front clip of this thing and everything else. I mean, once again, those 8 scale 17mm hubs up to the CVJs. Very nice stuff. You do have 5mm camber links and 4mm steering links. So a little bit surprised on the 4mm. I would probably be apt to say that a 5mm probably would have been a little bit better for that. I know that's not the one that gets all the pressure as the camber link does, but it just would have been nice to see a 5mm link there. Now up here to the front, shock tower, just a massive shock tower to mount those large shocks to, and you'll see here a nice aluminum little skid plate up here, very EXO style. And then on the bottom, which was actually very nice to see, there's a full, pretty thick aluminum plate that goes from the front bulkhead and on back past the rear mount for the rear side of the arms. One thing that's got me a little surprised here are these little boxes that kind of protrude out. Hopefully these will not get hit on the chassis there and kind of start to rub those off. So hopefully we'll have to see about that. Arms seem to be very huge, very beefy, and just massive. The one thing I found on the instructions, and maybe not the instructions, but just putting this thing together, inside here, when you start to put this top plate on, there's 4 tubes that go down, and you actually mount these screws on the bottom side. Well, if you don't have them lined up exactly perfect, you end up either cruising by it or dismembering it. So keep that in mind when you're putting yours together. It just had me for a loop. I ended up putting these 4 top screws in first, and that somewhat aligned it a little bit better. Onto the other side over here, you're going to see the ESC plate, which actually gets sandwiched down to the receiver box. You'll see the antenna is popping up right there, and underneath there you're going to have another plate that goes to a waterproof receiver box. So pretty nice, but it's kind of sandwiched in there. So if you need to actually remove the receiver, you have to take this plate off. So a little bit weird. I'm going to see how my 8-skill system fits into that. Transmission, just huge, just monstrous. It went together pretty easily, and it actually included aluminum slipper pads. So actually has a little disclaimer in there saying, do not use the red ones, use the aluminum ones. So mounted those up. You'll see the rear drive shaft here sticking out, and just once again, a big burly sleeve that goes over the all steel yoke. So pretty nice there. Lots of little Axial stamps everywhere with the logos. You actually see it all the way through here. Actually, it's on top of the receiver box plate, but it's covered by the ESC. So nice little added touches by Axial. Last thing wanted to kind of discuss with you guys is the electronics. I've actually had to rethink them because of just the sheer size of this thing and the size of the wheels and tires. And so I have a new servo coming that'll have close to 500 inches of torque. The 8-skill system is going to be a little bit different here at the RC Network. I have a new system on its way here. I've kind of paused some of the parts here. Normally you'd mount the motor and also the servo in already, but I've kind of scaled back from that pending those arriving here at the RC Network. So I'm going to start building a little bit later on today. Got the cage to do. I'm going to go ahead and start mounting this thing up with the rear links, get the rear sway bar on. Lots of stuff to do. So, well, guys, that's it. If you want to check out additional footage of this in photo form, definitely check out rccrawler.com. I have my build thread there under the Axial Yeti XL thread. And also check out my Facebook page. Lots of photos there, lots of discussion there going on about the XL. So, well, that's it, guys. If you have any comments or questions about this video, please post them on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.